During his life, Donald Trump's father, Fred Trump, was arrested twice. The first was during a Ku Klux Klan incident in 1927, and the second was in 1976 as a result of code breaches at one of his properties in Maryland. Donald was asked about his father's involvement in neighborhood development and the 1927 arrest during a conversation with a journalist. The New York Times reported on this interaction. The reporter inquired, "Have you seen this story about police arresting a Fred Trump who lived at that Devonshire address in 1927 after a Ku Klux Klan rally turned violent?" Donald said, "Totally false." In response, "Our home was in Wareham. Although I am aware that there is a road named Devonshire, I don't believe my father ever resided there. The census indicates that he lived there with your mother there," the journalist questioned. "Nevertheless, you were unaware of that tale." "It never happened," Donald retorted. "By the way, I saw that it was said on a single little webpage. It never took place. They added that there were no accusations and nothing at all. There were no charges against him. I'm not aware of any other individuals involved," he continued. However, he was not charged in any way. Meanwhile, according to USA Today, there has been a resurgence of posts on social media sites like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter asserting that the president's father was detained in 1927 at a violent Ku Klux Klan rally in Queens, New York. This was the first charge that surfaced in the 2016 presidential campaign. A tech blog reprinted a 1927 story detailing Donald's father's arrest during a Klan rally during Memorial Day weekend in September 2015. In the Jamaica area, 1,000 white-robed Klansmen marched, eventually sparking an all-out brawl in which 7 men were arrested, the newspaper claims. Remember that Donald Trump's father was arrested in 1927 at a Ku Klux Klan event in New York? The charges made against the 6 participants are described in detail in the article. However, it just states that the elder Trump was freed and makes no mention of the specific allegations brought against him. The report makes no mention of Donald's father's support for or affiliation with the Klan, nor does it explain if he was a bystander, the victim of false accusations, or someone else entirely throughout the turbulent events. So assuming it was him, I don't even think it was him. I never even heard about it, Donald continued in the interview. Thus, it really isn't fair to bring up. In reality, it never occurred. The former president denied knowing Fred Trump's 1976 arrest and claimed he was unaware that his father had been arrested in 1927 following a Ku Klux Klan incident. Google is easy to use. Later in the interview, after voicing his displeasure with an earlier piece about him, Trump went back to the 1927 report. "What?" he exclaimed. "You're going to write about something that appears on a website for the New York Times? Number 1 and number 2 never occurred, and no one was charged. Thus, it shouldn't be recorded." As for Donald, he's about to make history by being the first serious contender to get through 4 felony cases in a single election year. According to USA Today, he has supported replacing civil servants with political supporters and increasing the president's power to recruit and fire federal workers throughout his campaign. Moreover, according to persons familiar with the Trump campaign's plans, former President Donald Trump's campaign is seeking to top President Joe Biden's fundraising achievements next month by generating more than $33 million in a single event. Hedge fund billionaire John Paulson is hosting the dinner on April 6th at his Mar-a-Lago mansion in Palm Beach, Florida. Notable donors include Robert Bigelow, Steve Wynn, and John Catsimatidis. According to a report by the Associated Press on Friday, March 29th, attendees would receive a personalized copy of Trump's administration photo album in exchange for either $814,600 or $250,000 per person. The target of $33 million is a chance for Trump to change the narrative in the face of bad news about his legal bills and fundraising difficulties, which cast his campaign as bankrupt. Trump's crew is still convinced that they can help him achieve his political goals, even while he is under investigation for his financial activities. Spokesman Steven Cheung stressed their calculated effort to promote Republican candidates and strengthen Trump's presidential bid. Cheung told AP, "We are not only raising the necessary funds, but we are deploying strategic assets that will help carry Republicans over the finish line and send President Trump back to the White House." Political gatherings in Wisconsin and Michigan are planned in conjunction with the event to demonstrate Trump's ongoing outreach to his supporters. Trump, who is well known for his skill with money, is hoping to raise significant sums of money by using both the resources of the Republican National Committee, RNC, and his position as the presumed Republican nominee. According to AP, Trump has a well-established history for lying about money throughout his commercial and political careers. He has been known to inflate or understate his cash situation based on necessity. His political groups have also leaned on accounting tricks and misrepresenting his financial status to the public, based their statements on what they think their opponents and supporters would find interesting. One such case is the recent return of a nearly $50 million donation that was used to launch a super PAC supporting Trump and then reimbursed to assist with his growing legal expenses. His campaign and the RNC have a cooperative fundraising agreement that allows for much greater donation caps, enabling contributors to give more than $800,000. Even with the predicted success in raising money, Trump still confronts formidable financial obstacles, with Democrats continuing to hold a sizable cash lead. Despite encouraging recent fundraising efforts, Trump's campaign and related PACs are still struggling to make ends meet due to growing legal costs.